Welcome to another episode of Regrow Your Roots. We got a little product review for you. Like the title says, this is an LED lighting review. I got a lot of questions on this, a lot of emails about these, and you kind of know, when you look at it, you should already know that an LED grow light of this low power is not going to work for growing anything, basically. It's not even going to work for supplemental light. But a lot of people want, they want to try these, including myself, because LED lights, they last longer, they run cooler, they're cheaper to operate, but they're very expensive. The big, high output LED grow lights are so expensive. So a lot of people naturally end up seeing one of these on the internet, including yours truly. But from experience, at 14 watts is not going to grow a whole hell of a lot. I've seen these in 14 watt, 35 watt, and 50 watt. Even the 50 watt, you're not going to grow anything under 50 watts. Well, take that back. You can. But they're just not, there's just not enough light in this 14 watt. So anyways, my interest in these was not for buying cheap LED lights that I'm going to grow everything with. My interest in these was, this can run off 12 volts. So I thought, how cool would this be to run a completely off-the-grid solar setup with some of these lights? But I know they wouldn't grow much, so I didn't want to buy the 50 watts, because the 50 watts, there's people getting like 120 bucks for them. So I just bought the very cheap 14 watt. I got it for $19, which I bought it direct from this Chinese website. 19 bucks. The shipping was like $2.30 or something, so for under $22 I bought one. And that's another reason I wanted to make this video, is you got to watch out, because I've seen like microgreen companies selling these for like 60 bucks for this 14 watt one, and that is ridiculous. So look around. Like I said, I got this for 19 bucks off some Chinese website that, they're kind of sketchy, but it got here. Unfortunately, they sent me the wrong one too. I had ordered the blue spectrum, and they sent me the quad band spectrum, and I'll plug it in here so you can see it. And the quad band is just what it sounds like. It's got every color spectrum there is. So I wasn't going to send it back to China. I thought, what the hell, I'll just try it anyways. But I wanted the blue spectrum everywhere on the LEDs, and they sent me this one, and it was pretty amazing test, because I grew some microgreens under it, and they all gravitated towards this center blue spot. So obviously these quad bands are no good for growing vegetables underneath. You definitely want to get these, but there's just not enough power. There's not enough light in this thing to really grow anything. So let's unplug it. Now initially I did a lettuce test, and I didn't document it, and all kinds of things happened in my normal life, so the plants never got, I never documented the growth. But basically lettuce growing under this just didn't work. The plants, they just didn't grow. They were small, they were spindly, they were trying to reach away and get any light they could. Didn't work, but I didn't document it very well, so I'm not even going to publish any of it. You just kind of have to take my word for that. But then I came across the microgreen site selling these things for 60 something, almost 70 bucks, and I was like, you got to be joking me. So I had some microgreen seeds, and I put it to the test, and well, what do you know, it grew a halfway decent patch of microgreens. Now unfortunately, again, life happens, and I was going to grow these and then at 10 days show you what they look like, because microgreens, usually you can plant them and then 10 days later you can harvest them. But again, life got in the way, and I had to, I didn't tend to them after the 10-day mark, so you got real spindly ones like this that are just poking up. But basically they grew pretty decent. I threw some bag soil in this tray. I sprinkled the microgreen seeds I had, which was a mixture, and voila, 10 days later, excuse me, they grew pretty good. And I also had these, I kept this thing right down on top of them, and they didn't reach. I was surprised, because I had a fluorescent light down the way, and I figured they'd kind of try to reach out and get to that fluorescent, but they all gravitated towards the center of this light. So yes, that light will grow some decent microgreens, but I think all in all, these microgreens would have grown just as good without the light. You know, I probably could have sat them here in on my desk and they probably would have grown just the same. But anyways, microgreens too. If you want to grow them, it's the easiest thing. Sow them on some on top of some soil, rake them around a little bit. 10 days later, you got them. But anyways, this thing here, these just aren't worth it. Even if you get them cheap like I did from that Chinese website, they're not worth it. I think I'll cut the cord off here. It comes with a funky little Euro cord with the adapter. I'm probably going to cut it off and try it on a battery. Run it off a 12-volt battery and see how some microgreens grow. Maybe I'll put them in a totally dark closet or something and just run it off a 12-volt battery. But don't waste your money, folks. These cheap lights are just that cheap, you know, and we all know you get what you pay for. So if you're looking for decent, cheap grow lights, obviously LEDs are going to be out of your reach unless you know, if you want to spend $600, $700, $800 on LED lights, go right ahead. I'll stick with T5 fluorescents. They're cheap. They got good light. They grow great greens. So I'll stick with T5s until, you know, maybe the LED lights will come down in the future, but the big, high power, good LED grow lights, man, some of them are like $1,200 a piece, which is just ridiculous. But these cheap ones, stay away from it. If you want to experiment around, check around online. You can find them pretty cheap. Don't pay $50, $60 for these things. Just find some Chinese-based website, buy them off there, and you know, mess around with them. But again, don't waste your money on these. They just don't work. They look kind of cool. They're not even a good supplement light, because people are like, oh, I'm going to buy them and I'm going to put them down the sides of my plants. Don't even bother. They don't have enough power. They don't have enough lumen output to do any good for anything other than growing you some tasty little microgreens, which again would probably grow just fine sitting here on my desk without a light. So I hope you appreciate these reviews and videos. Please comment, rate, share, subscribe, help this channel grow. I've got another video coming up on some new arugula I bought, growing in hydroponics, and then we just got a bunch of stuff planned throughout the winter where we'll be growing food year-round inside using crack key hydroponics.